Good morning, guys. We were in models, right? So we discussed about models, how we can manipulate things as well using Django itself, right? Not going into database, how we can create things, how we can delete, update, all these things. Are you guys okay with those things, or do you have any doubts? Okay. So whenever you want to work on IPython with Django, then use Python managed by shell. Don't directly go with IPython, because IPython will not have your Django project integrated into it. Okay, IPython is a separate software, so it will just open separate software, okay, without integrating your Django. Okay, even though you are in the Django location, but it will not take up the Django. Okay, so whenever you want to work on like these things, whenever you want to practice or do things, right, you can directly open Python managed by shell. So when you do this, it is integrated into the Django project. Okay, so now you can just open things up, right? So this is posts dot models import post. So we have post dot objects dot all to get all the objects, right? So just go through all the commands again, how we can fetch the things, how we can actually do all the manipulation of all the things, right? So this is all about models. Okay, how to design the models, okay, how to create the models in your models.py. Okay, always try to keep your logic separate in different files. Okay, so all the tables are written in models.py, all your functions will be written in views.py, all your support functions will be written in utils.py. Okay, so we have different files for different things, your constant values for constants.py. Okay, so always be careful about which file you are using for which particular code. Okay, so all the models will come here. Okay, now we have discussed about the structure of models, how to create the structure, okay, what this particular method does, right? Then we have saw how to manipulate things in the database using Django as well, right? Always remember, whenever you are simply taking up one object, okay, and whenever you are changing things, let's say oats equal to 1 like this, it does not affect your database. Okay, you have to save it so that it can also change in the database. Okay, without doing this, it will not change inside your database. Fine. So since both of them are 0 now, when I do this, then only it will change to 1. Okay, remember that particular point. Always you have to save the things. Okay, save will only hit your database. Okay, yeah, this is all about your models. Okay, so models are nothing but tables and their structures to define the data. So this is how you define the models. Okay, so in Django, all of them are classes only. Okay, we don't have functional models, we only have class models. Okay, then we have to do make migrations whenever you change anything in the models. Okay, you have to do make migrations, then do SQL migrate to see how it converts into SQL code. Okay, then do migrate to integrate into the database. This shell is used to do some operations in the IPython, right? We also saw this create super user, how we can integrate, how we can create a user which has all the permissions, right? So these are all the things that we have saw. Okay, now let me start the server once. Okay, let me just run the server. Okay, wait, I don't think we are in this particular file. Yeah, so once you run the file, once you start the server, you can go and you can check this particular thing, right? So whenever you do localhost 8000 port, you will see this particular page, right? So this was my default page. Okay, now we saw how admin page also works, right? We saw how users works. Okay, we have created multiple users. Let me open admin and admin. This was my default user, right? I will save this as well. Yeah, so this was my default user. Now if you can see, we only have two models here, right? One is groups and one is users. But now I have created one more model, right, in posts. I want to see this data as well in admin page. Okay, so this how we can integrate this particular model into admin page. Just see here, every application will also have admin.py. Okay, so whenever you create an app, you will get admin.py as well. So go into that admin.py, just import your model first. So it would be from posts.models import post, right? This is, yeah, so from post.models we are importing this particular class, right? This particular class. Then after that, just run admin.site.register. Okay, then give your post. Okay, whenever you give this particular model, now this particular model will also come into your admin site. Okay, so if I run the server again, you can go and refresh the page. You can see your posts model will also come here. Okay, when you open that, you can see there are two pages only, right? Only two records are there. Okay, so from here you can also add your post, right? You can add extra post, you can open any post. Okay, and you can also save it, change anything. You can also delete that post. Whatever the operations that you can perform in shell, you can also perform from here. Okay, but these things are permission based. Okay, since we are logged in with admin, we have all the permissions. Okay, but if I go out, okay, log in again with some other user. What? I thought we created different users. Anyways, I thought we created different users. Okay, it's not showing up. Let me create one more user. Okay. Yeah. We have multiple users. Okay, this is Lucifer. Let me log in with another user. Yeah. So now you can see here I did not have the permissions on posts, right? That's why I'm not able to see the posts model. Okay, to see that posts model, you will have to have the permissions as well. Okay, we have this Lucifer. Okay, for this also we did not have permissions to change. See, this Lucifer guy have only these permissions. Okay, admin log entry, can view log, can view groups, can view all these things. Since he does not have any permissions to view posts, here that model is not being visible, right? Now let me give the permissions for him using admin. Okay, so I logged in with admin. I go to users. For this person, for this user, I only have few permissions, right? Let me give permissions for him. It's not getting loaded properly. Why is it not being loaded? Because I think there is some CSS issue which is giving me wrong CSS. It has to come here as well. Yeah. Anyways, but you guys understood how to give the permissions, right? Do you guys have any doubts on how to give the permissions? It is not
No,
low.
bro. Previous class is shown that.
Yeah, in the previous class I told you, right? Whenever you go into that particular user, so you just select that permission here, and there would be a button here. If you click on that, that permission will go to this user. Okay, but it's not coming today because there is some CSS issue. Let me check what's happening. Add event is not defined. Some random error. Okay, so we'll have to see why CSS is not being loaded, but just remember that whenever you have these users, right, whenever you go into the user like this, let's say here, I have to give the permissions for him to view all the things, then only he will have the access to open that page or check those things. Okay, let me open you different admin and I'll show you from there. Okay, so let's say I'm logging in with this. Okay, go to users, right? So just pick up any user. Okay, let's say okay, pick any user. So here you will have all the permissions. Okay, similar to our models. Okay, we also had some models, right, like this one. Okay, can add file upload, can change file upload, can delete file upload. Okay, file upload is my model name. Okay, similarly we have can add post, can change post, can delete post, right? If you give these three permissions, then only he will have access to that particular model, post model. Okay, he can open the values and he can delete or change the values. If any user does not have these permissions, he will not see the post model that we have added into admin. Okay, so this is how you give permissions to users. Okay, but you have to log in with the main user. Okay, admin user or super user, right? Then only you can have access to all these things. You can change all these things. If you don't have access, then you can't directly go and change these things. Okay, so whenever you log in with any user, you have to have permissions to add or change permissions of other users. Okay, so basically admin will have all the privileges. Okay, admin user will have all the permissions. So when you can log in with admin, then add permissions to other users according to your requirements. Okay, based on your requirements, we will assign permissions to the users. Okay, so yeah, actually this is all about how to check the posts. Okay, we have just added the posts here. So if you go here, so this is my home page, right? I just added this posts into the model. Okay, this post model into the admin. When you open that, you will have the all the posts, right? And when you click on it, you will have the data of that post as well. Fine. Yeah, so how we are adding, we are just importing the model from the models file. Okay, post.models, import post. Then we have admin, which is already imported. Just add admin.site.register and your model name, right? So this is adding your models into admin file. Okay, now this is admin URLs which are already there, right? You didn't have to add any URLs. Okay, and this is my home page. Okay, so if you go to urls.py in the main project, not your application, main project, right, you can see that there is one URL patterns. Okay, this represents all your URLs, and we have added admin URLs, and it is coming from admin.site.urls file. Okay, so whatever the URLs that we are seeing here through admin, right, /admin, right, all these URLs after /admin comes from that particular file. Okay, admin.site.urls. But this is my home URL, which is starting point of my project. But now for us, we have created some models, we have to create some APIs, we have to build our own proper URLs. Okay, for our application to work. Okay, let's say when I go to /posts, okay, I need to list all my posts here, right? That is what how the software works, right? Whenever you go to separate URL, depending on that URL, your data will come here. Okay, if we go to Reddit, see, this is their home page. Okay, whenever I click on something, you can see here the URL changed. Okay, reddit.com/r/cricket. So based on this particular URL, all the posts related to cricket are coming here. Okay, so similarly we have to do that as well. Okay, whenever we open that particular page, we have to have all the list of all the posts. Okay, so rather than taking into a simple main URL, okay, we'll try to implement different things. Okay, so first in the initial page, we don't want this particular page, we want list of all the things. Okay, so we'll take step by step. First we'll create a simple view. Okay, simple view is nothing but a function or a class which has the logic of rendering things. Okay, rendering things in the UI. Okay, which has the logic wherever you want to write your logic to show the required data in the UI. Okay, in the browser, you write all that logic in this particular views.py. Okay, so this is views.py. We have render method that is already integrated. For now, just go with Django.http import http response. Okay, so this is a function which is already built in. Okay, let me just close this and open again. Imports are not working properly. Institute Reddit. Okay. Anyways, yeah, so we just import HTTP response. Okay, so we'll see when we use render method and when we use HTTP response. Okay, so basically HTTP response directly gives you the output. Okay, whenever you use this particular method, it will just directly give you the whatever you want, it will directly send it to UI. Okay, but render method takes up the template name and it will convert your template into UI. Okay, we'll see both of these things. Okay, first view, let's just create a sample example view, right? Def maybe call it as index view. Okay, and all these methods will take up the request parameter. Okay, so request is nothing but whatever the request that we are sending from the front end, it will go into this particular place. Okay, so and inside this I want to just give some output as a HTTP response. Okay, so this is sample text that we are showing. Okay, and you have to return this, right? You can directly return this or you can just store it in a variable or return that. Okay, return. Okay, both are same things. Return HTTP response of some sample text. Okay, now we want to show this whenever we call this particular index function. Okay, whenever we call this particular index function, we want HTTP response showing this particular text. Okay, let's first check if this is working fine or not in the shell. Okay, so now we have our shell, right? Python shell. So from posts.views import, our function name is index, right? So index. Okay, so okay, this is giving me that HTTP response is not present. I think the spelling is wrong. HTTP response. Okay, so always try to first check in your local if that is working fine or not in the shell, right? Which make sure that you will avoid some different errors. Okay, so now if I try to import this, we imported this and I'm not sending any request, I'm just sending some empty data. Okay, you can see that it is giving me the HTTP response object with status code 200. Okay, so we saw yesterday about the status codes, right? whenever you have status code equal to 200, which means that the function is working perfectly fine, right? So we have the format as text or HTML, and it is encoding in the char set. Don't worry about this char set UTF-8. This is just a encoding that by default all the languages follow. Okay, UTF-8 is the current convention that we follow. Okay, this is a formatting. Now you can see that HTTP response object is being returned. So your function is working fine. Okay, now we have to create some URLs. Okay, so we have the admin URLs which are already there, but we want our own URLs, right, for the posts. Just create one more file here with urls.py. Okay, so all these references I have also mentioned in the PPT. If you don't remember these things, okay, you can just go to the file as well. Okay, so just for the URLs, just import whatever the things that you have, use these particular syntaxes, and in the main URLs just add it like this. Okay, is it fine? Yeah, so in the URLs just import things from Django.urls, import path. Okay, and which URL you have to create, you have to add them in the URL patterns. Okay, URL patterns is the convention that we are using. Okay, this name, so URL patterns, you have to add all the URLs in your URL patterns. Okay, so let's say suppose this particular function should be called by default. Okay, by default of this logic, okay, in this particular page itself, then I don't have to give any name here. Okay, just include path. Okay, so inside the path I am just giving empty space, and I need to include this particular function there. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm mapping one URL to one function. Okay, so whenever you call that URL, that function will get called, right? So I have my URLs, URL patterns I am adding. I have my path. I am just giving empty path for this particular function, and the function, first I have to import the function also, right? So from posts.views import, either you can import like this all the functions individually, or you can import from posts import views. You can also import like this and use views.index. Okay, you can also import like this. This is also fine, or this is also fine. From posts.views import index. Okay, and you can simply use that index here. Okay, both are fine, it doesn't matter which way you are using. Okay, now after this, okay, this first one is path, then I am giving my function name. Okay, after that you have to give a verbose name. Okay, so this is called a verbose name, which is nothing but a descriptive name for this particular URL on the function. Okay, so that whenever people are trying to check this particular functions, they can know that which particular URL is representing which particular function properly, right? So we always try to prefer to give the same name, index. Okay, so that it will not lead to any confusion and all. Okay, so this name is a verbose name which we will be using in templates also. Okay, so now we have added my index, okay, index function into a path which is empty, and we have also given a name, and we have added the URL patterns. Okay, so these are my app URLs file, right? So this we are in my app application posts. We have created the urls.py, and we have added the URL in here, but we haven't integrated this particular URL in the project yet. Okay, so these are my project URLs, right? These are my project URLs. We have to include these URLs in my project URLs, right? So similarly, how they got these admin URLs and all, similarly you have to just import that URLs. Okay, from posts import URLs. Okay, or people can also use from dot import posts. After that they will use posts.urls. Okay, it doesn't matter how you want to use these things. Okay, so this is the syntax. Okay, so admin is already there, you just have to get these URLs. Okay, now we don't have to, I mean path is already there, you just have to include import the include as well. Okay, include function is just to include your URLs, right? So now we have this include and we have our admin URLs as well. Always try to add your app URLs before admin URLs. Okay, not after admin URLs. Okay, because it's just the preference that we are giving for the URLs. So if you are overwriting some admin URLs, it would be fine that admin URLs will get back, right? If you add your admin URLs in the top, then if you are adding your app URLs in this particular point, then if you are by mistakenly overriding some admin URLs, then your admin will not work, right? So that's why always add your app URLs on the top. Okay, so this is also a path we are giving. You can give any path, or you can just by default keep a simple path as well. Okay, let's see how if this works. Okay, this simple path, or I don't think we don't have to give it this as well, but let's see how that works. Okay, then we have to include our posts URLs. Okay, posts dot URLs. Okay, so we have posts is a whole package, and inside that we have urls.py, right? So we are including post.urls, which means it will pick all the URLs that are present in this file. Okay, this URL patterns, it will pick up all these things and it will add in the URL patterns of this file. Okay, then you will also have to give the namespace for this, which we will be using in templates. Okay, you can just give posts, right? So because these are the posts URLs, right? So you can get the reference from here. Okay, for all these things. Let's try this. If it does not work, then we will add the verbose name as well. Okay, now if I run the project now, okay, cannot import name posts. Let me just remove this, we don't need this thing. Okay, RER. So rather than that, I'll just import the URLs directly from posts, import URLs as posts URLs. So we have already discussed this as well, right? So whenever you give as, we are just giving a alias name. Okay, for URLs I am just giving alias name of posts URLs, right? So rather than including this, I am just including the posts URLs name. Okay, so when I run this program, URL config is not properly configured. Okay, so the empty thing is not working, we'll have to give the proper name as well for that. Okay, so if I give this there is some error, guys. Let me just check that. Module object is not iterable in URL patterns. Views.index name equal to index path. We are doing a silly mistake. I just have to find that. Include post URLs. This should be fine. Let me remove the verbose name for 1 sec. Okay, I think we are using some wrong name, that's why it is giving me the error. Okay, so this is the URL patterns. I think we are using underscore. Yep. Okay, So see, even if you are giving a some small wrong underscore also, it will throw you errors. Okay, so you'll have to debug things, then you can only find your issue. Okay, so see, from this particular error we can find that it does not appear to have any patterns, which means that our patterns name was wrong, right? So always keep an eye on what error you are getting. Okay, so based on your errors only you can debug the issues as well. Okay, even if you are giving a small extra comma or a small extra underscore, it will lead you to different errors. Okay, always be attentive on what you are writing. Okay, so we just added URL patterns here, included a path, mapped to one function. Okay, gave the verbose name. Verbose name is nothing but a description. Okay, we call it as verbose name in the programming language. Okay, so just a description name. Then we added that into project URLs as well. Okay, in the project URLs we just imported things. Okay, URLs and include, and in the path we just gave empty path and included these posts URLs in the root path. Okay, we haven't gave any extra path here. Now if I go to my project, if I run this, you can see that the particular index file is giving me the text. Okay, so this is the sample text. You can see this, right? So if you check in the networks tab, as we told you, as we already discussed, right, networks tab shows you all the calls that we are making into server. Okay, when I enter, there is only one call going on, which is at this particular path. Okay, so at nothing, right, empty path, we haven't added any path here, right? That's why it is giving me for the empty path. Okay, it directly redirects to that particular function and it is giving me the output of this is sample text, right? So this is how you render the text into UI. Okay, simple text into UI. Okay, this is just a sample program, sample function, sample API. We will properly add our posts like this in the URL. Okay, so but ideal scenarios, okay, so this is how they built the Reddit, but ideal scenarios we will list out all the posts in different URL. Okay, let me show you how we can do that in the different URLs as well. Okay, first thing, we will create one more name here. Okay, so similar to admin we have our posts. Okay, and when you run this again, you can see that this particular page is not there now. Okay, because we created our index file, okay, our index function to run at this particular position. Okay, so you have to give /posts. Okay, now only that will work, right? So this becomes your actual home page for the posts, right? So this is your original URL for the posts, or you can still keep the old way also. Okay, you can just remove this and keep it at the root path itself, doesn't matter. Okay, it's fine if you want to use this way or that way based on your project requirements. Okay, so since our project we are taking up Reddit is actually showing up all the posts in the home page itself, right? This is a home page, right, without any extra URLs. In here itself we are showing all the posts, right? So in this way we will also show the same thing. Okay, so now this will not work because we just removed that posts, only this will work. Okay, this is sample text. Fine. Now are there any doubts till now? Should I re-explain everything whatever we have done? Guys, I know this is some complex stuff, but okay, I'll explain all the things that we have done once more. Okay, okay, so every software, okay, every web application, anything works on URLs. Okay, so URL is nothing but the link that you open. Okay, this is called a URL, right? So every URL will have different parameters. Okay, this is my root path. Okay, whenever you open this thing, this is called a root URL path, okay, or this like this, okay, reddit.com, this is a root URL path. Okay, whenever you add something like this, okay, or cricket, it will check in the project if this particular URL present or not. If it presents, then it will give you this page, okay. If it's not present, okay, it will give you that this particular page is not present, right? The community may have been bombed, or the community name is incorrect because this particular community name is not there, okay, like that. So this is how URLs work, okay. It will check in the project if the URL is present or not. So basically, to work with these kind of URLs from the browser, we need to map our functions to some URLs, right? We need to show up at which particular path which function has to call, right? Which function we have to call, okay. So for the root path, if you want to create for the root path, we will just include in our project URLs. So this is my project URLs, right, in which admin was already there, okay. I have to include my post URLs, okay. Whatever the URLs that I have created in the post, I'll have to include them in the project URLs as well. So to include, I just have to first get include function from the Django.urls, and I also have to import post from post import URLs as post URLs, okay. This is just an alias name I'm giving for this file, okay. I got post URLs as well, I got include as well, okay. Now I'm just including at the root path, okay. If you are not giving any path here, it will include in the root path, okay. If you are giving something like this, okay, so these URLs will go into that particular path, fine. So now if I run this, it will not have anything because we haven't added anything in this particular path, okay, because we overwrote this particular root path with posts, okay. Now whenever you do posts, then only the root path will come, okay. But since we are working with Reddit, our root path itself is all the posts, right? So we'll just keep it to root path only, okay. So now let's say this is my root path, right? So how to map any function, okay? In your URLs, whatever you have included in your project, go to those, okay. Here this is already there from Django URLs input path, okay. You have to include your views as well, okay. I'm just importing all my views, okay. From posts import views, okay. At this particular point, I am including my function and mapping it to some path, okay. So currently we did not have any path here, right? Here also we did not have any path, that's why it is coming at the root path itself, okay. So at the empty path, I just included my index, okay, which is my function, fine. So how we have written my function? So this index function is nothing but a simple function which takes up request parameter, okay. Request parameter is nothing but whatever the request that we are sending from here, okay. This is my request parameter, okay. All these things will be available at the request parameter, okay. And we are returning some HTTP response, okay. This is a default method which returns whatever you write in this particular function, okay. It just returns as a response into UI, fine. So you just wrote a function, you mapped that function to some path, and you included your files URLs, okay, app URLs into project URLs, okay. This is what we have done, okay. For example, okay, so here we are getting all the things, this particular post in the root path itself, right? Now let's say I have one more function, okay, maybe some another function, okay, yeah. So we have another function called index new, let's say, okay. This is also getting request, return HTTP response object, okay. I am returning this is second sample text, okay. Let's say we have one more function, okay. Now in your URLs, you cannot add them at the both at the same point, right? you cannot add both of these functions in the same path. Okay, if you try to add this, okay, you can see that, if you can see that it is still taking up the sample text, but your index new function is never getting executed, right? So it will only take one path. Okay, whenever you add new functions, you create extra paths, right? So this would be your new. Okay, now if we see, now this will give you this, and if I enter /new, it will give me the second one. Now understood how the paths have been changed. Okay, so if I don't want this to be in the root path, you can also give like maybe index new index like this. Okay, index new index. Okay, now at the root path I will not have anything, right? Because we just removed the root path and we added index and new index, right? So this will be index, will give you this, and new index will give you the second one. Okay, sorry, index new. Okay, we just have to refresh this. This new index has not been taken yet. Okay, so this is new index. So when you enter this, you will have the second text. Now you guys understood how the path has been changing. Like whenever you change the path, based on that path your functions will get called, right? So whenever I am calling this function will get called. Whenever I am calling this function will execute, right? Based on your functions you will get your responses. Now are you guys understood how paths has been changing?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, cool. So always try to keep one index path, okay, and then you can create multiple paths, okay, because your index path has to be there, because whenever people click on, you will directly go to the root path, right? So people will not know all these URLs, people will directly land on this particular page, and if they found that this page is not found, I mean this error, they will feel that the software itself is broke, right? So always keep something at the root path, maybe a button or just to redirect something, or you can show a welcome page like welcome to home page, like that. Okay, you can keep anything. Okay, in our case, since all our posts are there in the root path, we'll keep this itself in the root. Okay, and we don't want this, but we'll keep it for now. Okay, so this path will give me the root, and if we give new index, we'll get the second one. Okay, so this is how you include URLs and map them to the views. Okay, so these are the views that we created, and we just mapped these views into the URLs. Okay, so now see, this is a simple Django project that we created. Now based on our requirements, we'll have to work on different views and create different URLs. Fine. So now this is just a simple URL patterns we included and two sample views, right? But original views will not be like this. Okay, and also we will not simply show this particular text, right? We will never show this kind of text. Okay, we'll actually include a whole template, right? So whenever you land on the home page, we want to show list of all the posts. Okay, list of all the posts that we have. Okay, now let me show you a simple example how we can show the list of all the posts, right? First you will have to import your models, right? From posts.models import post. Okay, from we have imported this. Rather than sending some sample text, what we will do, we will send all the posts values. Okay, so posts equal to post dot objects dot all, so which will give me all the posts. let me construct a dictionary, right? Dictionaries can be directly shown, right? So we can just construct a dictionary. Let's say posts dict equal to, let's say, empty dictionary. So this is the logics that we have learned, okay, in Python. So we will be using all those kinds of logics for loops, dictionary constructions, right? All these things now, okay, from posts. So we are accessing each object from the post.objects.all, right? So each object will have some values, right? So posts dict of, let's say, name equal to post dot name, right? Then we have data, posts dict of data equal to post dot data, okay. And we can also give some created by, who created this particular post, equal to post dot created by, maybe time as well, right? Created equal to post dot created, post dict of, we have oats equal to post dot oats, okay. So we have constructed this dictionary from these objects, right? All the objects we have constructed a dictionary, okay. But you can see if you have multiple objects, you will not have the proper dictionaries, right? Because it will just override the previous value. So what we will do, we will just keep this particular dictionary inside, okay, and we will create a list of dictionaries, okay. Posts list equal to list, and we will just append the dictionary for each of this object, okay. Dot append, okay, posts dict, okay. So what I am doing, I am just taking up a empty list. For each object I am creating a dictionary with all the values, and I am just appending that dictionary into the list, okay. Now rather than sending this HTTP response of some random text, I will send this posts list, okay. Now if I run the server, guys, have you understood this particular logic of how I have written this function? If you have any doubts in this, you can just let me know. So no doubts, right? I am assuming no doubts. Yeah. So yeah, someone was speaking. Cool. So yeah, what I am doing, I am just creating a list of dictionaries with each of the objects data, okay, and I am just sending back the response of the same dictionary, right? I mean same list. Now we have already included that in the URLs, you don't have to do anything now. Just go to URL and refresh the page, okay. Some value we haven't missed, okay. This is post dict, let's take it as post dict. This is post dict, posts list, right? Now if I refresh this, you can see it is giving me the list of all the dictionaries, right? So one dictionary came in here, right, and then another dictionary, right? It is giving me all the values, right? Name, data, okay, created by, created time, oats, and all these things, right? Is this fine? We are just showing up the list of dictionaries, okay. Any doubts? This is not properly formatted because we haven't added any HTML or CSS. We are just showing up the data, okay. So this is how we do the things, okay. But see how many lines of code we have written, okay, to get all the data. We have written almost 10 lines of code, right, just to get all the data and show it up, okay. Now rather than doing all these things, let me show you a easy way of doing this same thing. Okay, posts list equal to post dot objects dot values name data created by created and votes. Okay, so if I run this, you can see any output change happened? No, right? You can still get the same output with only one line of code. Okay, so you have to think of any logic how to reduce your code. This is how Python works. Okay, you do have a original way of writing a code, so whenever you want to like just think about how to write how to get the object data, all the people will think of this way only. Okay, because we are just looping through the data and getting all the values and creating a dictionary and creating the list of all the dictionaries, and we are just throwing it the value. Okay, but the same thing can be done with single command called values. Okay, so whenever you do this post dot objects dot values, whatever the column names that you give, it will construct a list of dictionaries with these values. Okay, I'll show you that in shell itself once. Okay, so we have our shell, right? So we can just models import post. Okay, so when you run this, you can see it will create a list of dictionaries with same column names, whatever you want. Okay, if you don't want oats, it will just give you without oats. If you don't want created also, you only want 3 names, you can get only these 3 columns. Okay, name, data on, created by, using values. Okay, so this is how you can use values to get columns data in the format of list of dictionaries, right? Understood? So rather than doing all these heavy stuff, okay, using for loops, creating lists, creating dictionaries, appending that, okay, we can simply use this kind of structure. Okay, this is how we use values. And there is one more syntax. Okay, values list, but always we will only use values list for one single column. Okay, values list can be used for multiple columns, but we prefer to use values list for one single column and give flat equal to true. Okay, I'll tell you the difference between giving flat equal to true and without giving flat. Okay, if you do this, it will just give you the list of values of name. Okay, like this. Okay, it will just give you the list of values. If you use this with this thing, it will construct a list of dictionaries, right? It will construct a list of dictionaries. Okay, but using values list, it will not construct a dictionary, it will just give you the list of values. Okay, but if you are not giving flat equal to true, it will create tuples. Okay, it will create tuples. So since we don't want tuples, just give flat equal to 2 to get the list of values. Okay, so this is the advantage of values and values list. Whenever we want, based on our requirements, you can use these things. Fine, cool. Then I think this is it for today's class. See how we can, do all these things in simple formats. Whatever the required values, you can just show up them using HTTP response. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow with templates. Okay, we'll create a template and we'll render this data in the proper format. Okay, here we are just showing up the data simply, right? Rather than doing this, we'll try to create a template like this. Okay, which shows up the name first, then the data, okay, people who created, okay, the time, proper time, and votes like this. Okay, we'll try to create this format for each of the post and we'll try to show up this data like this. Fine, cool. I think that is it for today's class then. Please go through this screen recordings once more. Okay, try to grasp everything. యా
No, no, nothing. Okay. Okay, man.
యా థ్యాంక్స్ నా థ్యాంక్ యూ గైస్, యూ క్యాన్ డ్రాప్ ఆఫ్. అయిపోయింది రా, అయిపోయింది. సెకండ్ క్లాస్ కూడా స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది.